Ever wondered why some men pull away the moment things get serious? Stick around as we uncover why avoidantly attached men fear relationships and how you can navigate this tricky terrain so you can find love, a life partner, someone who will put in the effort you deserve. If you are a successful professional woman, you may be ready for a relationship. Maybe you are in your 30s, 40s, or beyond. You want to start a family and continue enjoying your life, sharing it with someone worthy of your loving heart. But seeing what's happening on the dating scene discourages you. Perhaps you have some bad experiences and you want to avoid heartbreaks. It's totally understandable. It would be so nice if relationships were simple just as your education, career, and other aspects of life are. You work hard, problem solve, and get going to meet your goals. Relationships feel more outside of your control. I want you to know that they don't need to be difficult. They should be easier than your education or career. It takes a lot of hard work to be successful professionally. Relationships shouldn't feel hard. The reason why they wind up being hard for the most is because a lot of us have some attachment wounding that causes us to struggle. At the end of this video, I will give you one of the most profound tips for managing these emotional triggers caused by avoidant partners after I tell you about the secrets avoidant men keep. Most of my clients have elements of anxious attachment. The reason could be simply due to your upbringing, or it can be a consequence of meeting men with avoidant attachment. They can simply trigger this reaction in you. And if you are attracted only to them, it's quite likely you already have an anxious attachment. Anxious and avoidance have this fatal attraction towards each other. Tell me if you've seen this. Let me know down below. What happens when you're attracted to an avoidant man? Very often you wind up overfunctioning, overthinking, basically wondering how you need to change to make the relationship work. Here is the deal. This is what's killing your romance. If you stay with me, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do instead. Short answer would be you don't need to change. You are already perfectly lovable as you are. If you ask me, the only thing you need to change is understand that you are enough and that you are just perfect for one lucky person who can appreciate you. This happens when you start healing your anxious attachment. Now, of course, we all can grow and change certain things in life to be a better partner. This is not your priority, though, right now, unless you are a horrible person. Women that I work with are mostly overly self-critical. Well, I guess that's something you can change because that probably leads to problems in relationships. But we are here to help you navigate those problems, and the first part is to accept yourself. If you're trying to date after 30, you will encounter a lot of avoidant men, but no need to worry. It doesn't mean they are bad partners. You just need to understand them so you don't take it personally when they start withdrawing, stop calling, or tell you some of these dreadful words like, let's take it slow. Mind you, that is after he let himself daydream loudly about you meeting his parents, having babies together, and discussing the types of education you both like for your future little humans. That's cold. But here is a tip. Let's take personal responsibility and learn something. Mark these words. Don't take his words seriously, especially at the beginning. Don't fall in love based on his daydreaming and enjoying a moment with a glass of wine. Of course, his withdrawing behaviors will trigger you to feel horrible. But here is the reminder. Remember, you've just met him a couple of months, weeks, days ago. Keep in mind that he just ignorantly triggered an old wound that is stuck in your body and you didn't get a chance to process. It's just floating there, keeping your younger parts in pain while you are doing your thing in school, work. A lot of these old wounds occurred before you knew how to talk, so you didn't have the verbal ability to make sense of what's happening when you were a little baby. A simple example can be that your mother fed you on schedule as prescribed by behavioral scientists of that time instead of when you were hungry. As a little baby, you see this as a potential death threat because you don't understand what that darn doctor told your mom and she's just trying to be the best mom. You just scream and feel abandoned, thinking you will die. This can cause trauma for the little one. Similarly, when your partner doesn't call or respond to your texts, it can evoke this old wound and parts of you feel like you're about to die, while other parts feel like you want to call him and give him a piece of your mind because he's hurting you so badly. Naturally, you want to protect your sense of self and want to avoid being hurt even more. But acting up in anger will ruin your sense of self and you will hurt your avoidant partner, especially if your anger is unprocessed. Here is what needs to happen instead. So in order to maintain a relationship with any partner, and especially someone who may have an avoidant attachment, you need to understand yourself. What triggers you, what is unacceptable for you, what your needs are in a relationship. These needs are not unreasonable. You don't need your partner to come and feed you, but you need closeness, reassurance, consistency, communication, showing that he cares and wants this relationship at least as much as you do. All that is understandable. Not only that, but you should absolutely expect it. Stand up for yourself. But you see, that wounding that happened decades ago causes us to feel that our needs are too much, something to be ashamed of. And that's the reason why you may not be in touch with your needs. This also causes you to struggle communicating. The biggest mistake that women make is thinking that men should just naturally meet your needs while you're hiding them. You need to communicate your needs with him, and for that you have little self-exploration to do. This is why my first step of the Secure Love Creator program is focused on helping you understand yourself, your needs, desires, boundaries, triggers. We teach you how to process your emotions and manage triggers which allow you to communicate from self-love instead of resentment. This has a powerful effect on your relationships. It allows you to develop a deep emotional bond with men. Men too love to love and be loved, even avoidant men, but they have fears that block them from allowing themselves to do it. We will explore this. By the end of this video, you will have a deeper understanding of avoidant men and what prevents them from allowing themselves to fall in love with you. When women complete this first part of the program, they feel so confident and they attract relationship-ready men who are ready to let go of old wishy-washy ways, situationships, and saying that they need time. Girl, you deserve better. You don't need to be in a position to wait for someone to make up their mind about you. When you are solid with yourself and know how to court and date, you eliminate this situation. Here is the deal. If you meet someone who has an avoidant attachment, you will have some trials and tribulations. Knowing where their fears come from can help you avoid a lot of mistakes that will cause more and more heartbreaks. This is how the story usually goes for you. You meet him, he's amazing, he's attentive, and you're enjoying it. He says things that make you think he can be the one, and you start attaching. From fun and enjoying times, you switch to goal-oriented mode when you start wondering when will you two move to the next stage in the relationship. Your anxiousness grows, and this may trigger his avoidance. What about him? How does he move from an eager admirer who has such a great connection with you to someone who starts saying, "All is okay, I've just been busy," as an excuse for not contacting you? Don't buy this busy excuse ever. Nobody is that busy. Another one that avoidant men use when you notice his mood change. "All is well, I'm just tired." Don't get me wrong, this can be true too, but avoidant men will not talk about feelings much, so tiredness is a great scapegoat. Let's dive deeper into avoidant men's minds. So what are they afraid of? One thing that freaks them out is your anxiousness. That could have happened exactly because he became slightly avoidant. You see this ridiculous circular logic. Yes, you trigger each other The other thing that happened, he's realizing that this is becoming a bit more serious. There are two things he may be afraid of. The first is that he's developing feelings for you. That is scary because that means that he's losing control and exposing himself to feeling hurt again. Yes, that most likely happened at some point in his life. If he's not avoidantly attached from childhood, he may develop the survival strategy when someone broke his heart badly and he never recovered from it. The other thing that he may be afraid of is that you're attaching too quickly and he's not sure yet. He doesn't want to break your heart and he would rather stop it than allow you to attach. The advice here is to slow down the courting process. Allow him to be the locomotive force, but you keep your brakes on until he shows you what you need to give your heart fully. As he pursues you, you allow more and more intimacy. This is how you will protect both of you from driving into a ravine. That's how he will feel safe to fall in love with you. Warning: don't confuse this with playing games. Playing games and manipulating will just lead to horrible situations for both of you. None of you will feel safe to build emotional connection. Ready to dive even deeper into what avoidant men are afraid of. This absolutely terrifies him, although he's attracted to these kinds of dynamics. He's afraid that he will be responsible for your feelings. This fear is very profound and it can be hard for him to develop deeper feelings for you, to surrender his heart completely. You may enter a relationship with someone who can never let themselves fall in love completely. We usually see this with men who may have a fatherly relationship towards you. They may even be the best husbands. You can never pinpoint what's wrong, but you just feel that he's not completely allowing himself to fall in love. He even may choose someone who has dose of anxiousness that he perceives as neediness. This is how he feeds his altruistic narcissism. It makes him feel good about himself, that he is in control and that he is taking care of you. Their underlying beliefs are that they have to bear the burden of everyone. They may be the people who are great to be friends with. They will arrange things and make things work. In this case, it's essential that you got yourself, that you know who you are and what your needs are. Gently challenging a partner like this can help him grow and see you in a different light. Here is how to do it. First, it's essential that you remember that you existed and managed all these decades without him. You lived, you didn't die. So you can remind yourself and then him that you've got yourself. He needs to know that you will be okay without him if things don't work out. He needs to know that you really like and value him, but that you ultimately want a deep connection and equal relationship. This is definitely a tricky one. Two things can happen. He may actually feel relieved and realize that he doesn't need to be burdened and that he can love you freely. This is when he's ready to evolve. But if he's not, he may lose interest in you because he's still attached to his role of burden, enduring, sacrificing person. You're free to choose always. It's always good to remember that you got yourself, that there are numerous men who would be stoked to be with you, and that you can take your time to figure out who's right for you. Once you work these things out with yourself, it's irrelevant if he's avoidant. What matters is that he's open to your communication and that he's willing to grow and work on the relationship together with you. If you need more tips on how to deal with avoidant partners, watch this video.